Okay, so let's wrap this up. Um, we have we're in paper space. I'm going to back out to model space so that you can see. Let's take a look at all the elements that are here. I'll look at it in an isometric so that you can see many of them are drawn in a frame of reference of the top view, and that's everything that would be 2D. These are misoriented right now, so let's just fix them right now. Let's go to the top view and cut and paste them. They're actually front views. Control X, go to the front view, Control V, and paste them. And those are reoriented. So we've got some plywood here. You kind of have to space some things out. These will run into each other a little later. So let's kind of move them out of the way. I'll just kind of push them up here a little bit. I've got a solid model that's actually going to have some plywood underneath it, so let's move it over. And I think I'm going to take an extra flat shot. Well, no, we don't need an extra flat shot. We can just look at the front view of the solid model. So there's all of our elements, and as far as I know, they're on the correct layers. That's critical when you get this stuff printed. This is looking white, so that tells me it's on the wrong layer. All text should be on dimension and text. You can do a Control A and make sure everything's being controlled by layer, and that kind of absolutely tells you what is right or wrong. Okay, I'm still concerned about this text in that it's not red. I look up here though, it's being controlled by layer everywhere, so I think we're actually okay. I've seen some problems with pasting text and it being locked into some strange color. That doesn't mean that we're not going to get the output correct. Do a save once in a while. All right. We go to a plotter and we just need a couple viewports here. This one is fine for maybe the we'll go with the cut schedule, so I'll zoom in on the cut schedule. So there's a couple pieces of plywood. Now I need more viewports, so go ahead and go to the viewport layer. Put this one on the viewport layer, by the way, too, if it isn't already. Working on the viewport layer, go View, Viewports. You need at least 4 more. Go ahead and use 4 viewports. Right here could be your design brief. Right here could be your parts list. We'll change the scale of these a little later. Right here can be your top, front, right. And let's see what else is here. I think we need a front view of the entertainment center that's going to show all of your stuff. And then we'll go ahead over here and we'll do one more viewport, viewports 1, and we'll stick one up here, if we don't actually get to the rendering. So go to isometric, we'll zoom in. When you get these multiple viewports, that's absolutely when your computer will be doing the most math. So take your time and now viewports and split fertility. See if I can get the computer working again here. There, escape. Now this one absolutely is the most important one, and it is positively at a scale. Okay, sorry about that interruption. Now, I'll pull this open. Let me turn off ortho, and let's right mouse click on it and go to properties and put it at 1 to 8. Two of them were chosen. This will be at 1 to 8 also. So don't move the wheel of your mouse, and obviously this viewport must be much larger. Now some of your entertainment centers are huge. Now you can run into a problem with a 1 to 8 scale. not actually working for your drawing, depending on how large your drawing actually ended up being. This one is a fairly small conservative entertainment center. So that looks pretty decent. I'll pull open the design brief. It's also to be at 1:8. Let me go ahead and pull it down until all of it appears. And we would like the parts list to be at 1:8, as well as the design brief. I'll go ahead and shrink this. Our cut schedule can be at something smaller. The stuff where we have to have text that's being read, it would certainly be nice to be all at 1:8. And this is a gigantic design brief because I did not amend any of it. So this is probably as big as your design brief would ever be. All right. Here is a parts list, and we would actually like that to be at 1:8. So let's go ahead and choose it. Right mouse click, properties, and we'll set its scale at 1:8. Remember, if you are in the viewport and you move the wheel of your mouse, you have just reset the scale. Now you have to start spacing this stuff out a little bit. Remember that the parts list is going to go down the G on this one. I didn't do it all. It was just going to be too repetitive and too much. You guys got the idea. So the parts list can go maybe here. And we're pretty much, we have the whole project together now. Now you need titles below them. So slide in here and grab a piece of text and another one and go Control C, Control V. Now we got a viewport coming along with it. Control C, Control V, and you want to title every one of these drawings and put a scale under it. This will be the isometric. And notice that I took two different size texts from the title block that's already been done. This is going to be scale, none. Okay? Now I'll grab this and go Control C, Control V, and we're ready to stick it somewhere else. Now, I've got a problem here. This needs to be close to, this design brief needs to be close to the front view. So let's see. We'll stick a title. Let me turn off OSnap. It's going to get me in trouble. Put a title right there to this one. And we're going to have to move these drawings around a little bit. The problem is this design brief will never give me a moment. Okay, go to the top view. Alright, so this had every possible thing in it. So let's go in here and amend this a little bit and just get rid of some of this stuff. Let's say I ditch about I'll just ditch a couple things here. Maybe up to here, whatever. Alright, and I'll come down here and we had some other stuff down here at the bottom that was excessive. So let's shorten that up to something, even at that, it's kind of a large one, larger than most of the students. Alright, so I just screwed up the scale. I think that we can probably let this at a different scale. We need it close to this front view though. Let's go ahead and close this down a little bit. Now we can go ahead and make these viewports a little tighter so that they don't cross over each other. You don't kind of want to stay away from crossing them over each other. We can move this and this. Just tighten things up a little bit so that we can put this over here. And then you haven't seen where we're headed with this, but let's take a look at it now. I want you to come in here and in Paperspace, go to, I think we'll pick the dimension and text layer, and come over here. Let me turn off shading here. That screws up the text. And that's something you'll have to to do in each view that has a solid in it or text. If it has text, you got to turn off the shading. I'll draw a line from the TV. Let me zoom out a little bit to the TV. And this is the way you're going to account for what's in your design brief with the way you designed your entertainment center. So a small picture of the solid, design brief, draw lines over to the things that you've included. Let me zoom in here. We kind of screwed this up. These are okay to actually sit inside the viewports. They aren't going to hurt anything. And it is good to get the names close to the objects. Okay. This is already titled. It has a thing called parts list. We do need something down here that says cut schedule. And we'll put this down here. And this will be cut schedule. And I'll say OK. This already says design brief, and we don't need to title that. That's no big deal. So we're pretty much done. I'll do a Control S. You scroll view because I'm some kind of large. Okay. Let me cut out of this for right now and make a shorter video to end it up.